All right, we got so much work to do. We still got parts to put away. We got all kinds of stuff, but we got a Cyclops problem. So I think we're gonna use this little 550 here, which we haven't used in a while, to do what we want. Also, the weather we've had has blown off a piece of my barn roof, I see. Not all the way, but enough that it's gonna have to have attention. So that'll be another project that I really needed, but you know, I'm used to it at this point. Every spring, it seems like without fail, there is wind damage, and we're slowly making it more better. But anywhoos, let's see if the little 550 will start, and we'll do that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. Little 550 with the 59, is it 59A loader? I can't remember. Haven't used it in a while. Oh, about fell off of it. Haven't used it for so long. All right, not used to it. No, what it amounts to is that Cyclops blew a fuse again, and it's been months. It hasn't done, it has worked flawlessly. And now I put the fuse in and it flashes every other time, which usually means something on the fence. And with wind, like we've had, as you can hear behind me, there's bound to be something somewhere. So we're gonna go check it out with this little buggy, hopefully. Look at that sweetheart. I just poured some hydraulic oil in it a second ago, so sweet. Well, that's too slow a gear. Come on, yeah. We're gonna take an unscheduled pit stop here and dump I think there's a piece of wire and a antifreeze bucket in there. Then after a while, I need to cut those bolts off of Dad's plow so that he can get new ones. He's got new points and stuff for that plow, for the WD, so. Anyway, that's an after a while project. Wake up, haven't used you in a while. Whoa! Whoa! Calm down, you wild horse. Bet that the problem is way far down there. It's probably not on this end, but you never know. There's a stick that needs attention. I don't know that that's worth me getting off of here, but let me have another look-see at everything. What a horse, what a horse. It's been a good one. Other than the fact that I about break my leg every time I get on here. With that loader, when I put my foot on the platform, somehow it gets rolled under the clutch. It's hard for me to swing over the gear shift, and I don't know. Obesity problems. There's a problem. Right? Can't see. This right here is what makes me want a side-by-side. You wouldn't have to keep swinging on over top of the transmission to get on and off. I don't think any of that's really touching, even though it looks like garbage. Huh. I can't really get to that good. We'll table that. That's a for later problem. We'll crawl in there and make that better. All right, come on. Need to come out with the saw. Start trimming stuff. Stuff is getting too close. Okay. It might be a fluke. It might be that there was actually some lightning and it protected it from that, which is fine. That would be even better. Might have just taken it a minute to kind of get back into the swing of things after putting a fuse in it. Try to kill two stones with one bird on this one. So silly to have to get off of there for this stuff like that. But there's a bigger one down here, I see. Let's get rid of this. Get off of there, you! I think we're good now for a good ways. Get the little buggy again. Yeah, it's wet here. I don't know how it is where you are, but it's rained a bunch. Oh yeah, there might be something down there that needs attention. This has all been underwater, see? And the water's washed, guess which direction? That way, see? And I would bet that all of that isn't doing us any favors. All right, well, that's some pretty violent destruction. And I'm gonna have to go around the long way to fix it, because I'm not crossing that water right now. Well, we might as well walk down first and look at the sadness up close, and then figure out what we're gonna do. The good news is the fence is up, but you can definitely tell this has been all washed around by being underwater. Nothing is where it was. Somebody's been on here that shouldn't have been with an arrow. Naughty, naughty people. You don't pay the property taxes here, so you don't trespass on my ground. Yeah, totally laying flat. I can't imagine why that might be an issue. All right, well, Granddaddy's rotten wood post is about behind its time. Done. But I can't drive back here with anything. So what I'm gonna do is hammer in a steel post and tie the wood post to it for now. That'll at least fix the problem. And then when it's dry this summer, or sooner, I can work my way back here like I wanted to do anyway. Make myself a path next to this fence, come in here and put down a new post. But see, you got stuff like this, Widowmaker. This tree is just a tree that's broke off of that. It used to be there. And it's just hanging out there ready to fall on anything and kill it. So you gotta watch stuff like that. Turkey, huh? He didn't quite make it over the fence without catching. Well, they're calling the game on account of rain here. We'll see how soaked I am by the time I finally get back up to the barn. Oh well. I got what I wanted accomplished down there, so. And the trouble is not all there, so there must be a problem in their nighttime pen. We'll find out. Buddy the dog, what are you doing, pal? So, if you made it this far, that was probably footage from 3 days ago, maybe. And I did find what was causing the Cyclops problems. We'll go down and give it attention if we get time. An insulator was shorting out against an iron fence post in their nighttime pen. And it was an insulator that Grandpa rigged with a piece of wire. Now, why it worked all this time and then just magically decided one day to not do that and arc out to the post, I don't know. But what I did was I just unhooked it from there and it was working fine. And then I didn't have one with me, so I never got back to it, but that's okay. Because we're gonna have to do everything we did all over again because there were bad storms and it has caused trouble. So I'm sure if it's caused trouble in the yard, we're gonna have to walk all that fence again and make sure it's not done. But I will show you some of my unfortunate damage. It's not as bad as it could be, but I don't know. Here's a tree right outside my kitchen window. And this one kind of hurts a little. The other day, there was a storm and it blew part of this down. And I thought, I'm gonna let it go ahead and bloom, you know, flowering trees. Go ahead and let it bloom one more time and then I'll saw it off and whatever. And there was still a good part of a tree there and I thought, fine, you know, I'll still have something. Well, then last night, that storm just totally obliterated this tree. I mean, it broke it off in every direction. I don't know what the deal is there, but unfortunately, that's all she wrote for this tree. And it hurts because this was Grandma's favorite tree. She loved this tree. It was right outside her kitchen window where she could see it. And she loved it because her little boy, my dad, gave it to her on Mother's Day. And I don't know, she loved flowers and trees, and I kind of do too. I mean, the flowering trees, I like them in the springtime when they all come in together, all different colors and things, and we had a bunch of them. You know, there's another one there, and there's some all around in different places. And yeah, this one, this is it for this. And that's, there's not even a, there's nothing on this tree that's salvageable. I mean, I can't trim it back in any way to save anything. So that's a bummer. I'm gonna try to find another one like it and plant it in there. But what do, you know? Stuff don't last forever, I guess. And another thing, like Grandpa did not believe in trimming trees at all. Like he would not trim a single limb on a tree. And it was getting so out of hand on everything. Like you couldn't mow the yard without getting whacked in the head by a piece of a tree. And I would start trimming stuff and he'd get so aggravated. He didn't like that. And I don't know. So what I'm getting at with that is, I think if the tree had been trimmed a little bit better over the years, it might have made it a better shape that was less prone to something like this happening eventually. But it lasted his lifetime, and it's my problem now. I heard that a bunch about everything, and it proved out for this tree. It definitely did that. It kind of came through here. I guess it was just straight line winds. It destroyed this redbud tree, which wasn't much. I'm really amazed that it has lived this long, because it ain't much either. And I liked redbud trees too, but this one's done, so it's gonna have to get sawed off. It broke top out of this, which you see this and you think, what is this cluster of nonsense? The only reason I haven't cut those down is because when I was a little kid, again, this is stupid to attach memories to a tree, but I don't know. I've got memories with trees. I liked Christmas time, and I liked these little cedar trees, and I wanted a tree to decorate in the yard. And Grandma and I, when I was just a little feller, went out to the pasture there and dug up a little cedar tree sapling and drug it all the way out here on a shovel and planted it right there in the yard. And it did real good for several years, and then we thought it was gonna die. And so then we went out and dug up a second one to replace it. She said, let's just go get another one, you know. Well, then they ended up both taking off, and now they've grown together into a wad of nonsense. But that's the only reason why I haven't cut them down, is because memories attached to a tree. Silly, but there it is. So I don't know, that might be the thing that makes me cut them down now. I don't know. It also destroyed another redbud tree on the other side of the house. It's not broke off, but it's leaning way over and it's touching the house now, so it's gonna have to have some attention, you know. It was always kind of nice when you could come out here and you could basically walk out of the back door of the house and be under trees the whole time, you know, when they were all blooming, all these different flowering trees, and I don't know. So that's that. I haven't even been all the way around yet because I had to leave immediately this morning. So I don't even know what I'm all in for. Hopefully not much more damage, but I did see something else, and we'll just take a walk. It blew the corner off of there, so I got some screws. I can hopefully get up there real quick here in a minute and put that back down and keep it dry in there. I don't like this aluminum stuff, but Grandpa loved it because he said you never had to paint it. But it's so soft that anything over the years bumping into it has made it, you know, something. The wind probably blew something into it there and caused a dent at different times. And likewise down there, it's just too soft for whatever. And you can't even get this anymore, I don't think. But that's what all this is. I mean, all these little dents and stuff are things over the years getting blown into it and whatever. I guess I need to just re-side that one day too, but that's neither here nor there, not today's problem. But putting that back down will keep all the stuff in there nice. So there's lots of tree limbs broke out of stuff I see. I need to move this pickup because it's going to get destroyed if it didn't already. I think it did bust the windshield, didn't it? It cracked it. Dang it, I tell you. This is another thing that memories are attached to, and I really want to get it going again. I just haven't ever had the time, but it's starting to go back to Mother Earth, so I need to make time. But that's an old rickety locust tree, and I would say that it's probably dead, so I need to move that truck and saw that down one day. It took out a tree in the out there in the bovine's night pen, which is another one I would say was dead, so not really a loss, but it's something that's got to be cleaned up, you know. Oh, thank goodness it didn't blow any of our parts away. Good grief, what would we have done? You know, wish it would have blown them closer to the barn so I didn't have to carry them as far. Yeah, it's gonna start raining, as I predicted, but that's okay. We've been wet and miserable before. What would be any different now? Also, it waits until I'm as far away from shelter, you know, like the house, as possible. The wind certainly didn't help our trash situation. It blew a lot of stuff all over the place. The lift renting is in my future again because it's started to pull up roof there. That is the only part I didn't get when I rented that lift the last time, and it was because this was in the way, and this is damaged too. It's pulled some off there, it's pulled some off there. So when I rent that lift this time, I'll probably tear that off and start over, just continue on, and I don't know. That's not too bad. At least there's not a gaping hole. Oh, he's trying to get him some, I think. Aren't you, buddy? He's chasing something. Yeah, they're all laying out here, but all considered, I don't think any of this damage is too bad. Most of the stuff that blew down, like tree-wise, had other issues. I think my rusty acre row there is looking like it's under under trees now, so something probably broke out there, but that's okay. It's fine. Well, I'll probably use this real quick as scaffolding to get up there and fix that piece of roof just so it doesn't get worse. I guess I shouldn't call that one there. Let's do some bonus footage of, you know, cold start. Hasn't been running in a while, but not too bad. Sure. Looking at the radar, I'm not going to get any break in this rain for very long, so my plan is get the tractor set up and rigged up and then get it over with as quick as possible when it's either quits for a second or it's not raining too hard. Now, I gotta get my correct size bit for the roof screws, and probably the ladder would be a smart thing instead of trying to do it acrobatic style off the hood, which I've done before. But yeah, I'm gonna go get some stuff. Oh friends, the safety is overwhelming here. The second that I get up the ladder, it starts to rain. Awesome, awesome. Just hang out there. You're gonna get wet, but so am I. I'm sliding out of the thing. And of course I didn't bring a hammer. That's gonna have to do her for now. That ought to hold it down till whenever I rent that lift, I'll come back up here and add more to it, you know? Sure, why not reuse this? Whilst I'm here, why don't I see if I can fix this problem too. Awesome, I broke you. Cool. Not only did I break the camera mount, but the magnet part is now permanently stuck to the bucket. Awesome. All right, well, that's as good as it's gonna get for now. And yeah, it'll stay on there now, it won't blow away. We're gonna have to go check on that fence though, because I'm sure it's a mess again. So I'm gonna grab an insulator and we'll see about that shorting out post. I guess the first thing to do would be to check and see if the old Cyclops is still hammering away. Yeah, it's hammering every time, so it should be working. So, it is raining now, again, starting. Of course, only because I want to be outside, you know. So I think I'll take the 550 again. I do need to put out hay too later. I got Dad's plow disassembled here, and this was a ball of sadness. It had a lot of thick scaly rust on there that was not letting any of the pieces lay flat, so I went ahead and ground that all clean and then painted her up, so now he can start over from new. His moldboards are good. I think he said he's got new points, and he's missing 2 shins, 1 shin. I don't know. I thought there was one, but I don't see it immediately before my face. I see the 3 points. I don't know what happened to that, but I thought that he was only missing 1 shin, but maybe he was missing 2. I don't know. At any rate, with as much rain as we've had, he's got plenty of time before he's got to worry about plowing a garden. So, sure. I don't know where that cardboard box came from. The wind must have blown that in here. Oh well. I bet that last time I forgot to shut the gas off and take the battery cable off. So, I wonder if it will run. Yeah, it's loaded. Right? Oh, not too bad at all. I thought it would be loaded down. Bad thing is this is going to stir up those cows. And they don't need to be stirred up. It's not feeding time yet. So, stay wherever you are. Well, don't die in the middle of the road. See, they're all gonna go running now. They think the 550 means lunchtime. I guess it could mean lunchtime. I got an idea that might calm them down. Oh, Buddy the dog isn't helping them either, I see. But I got an idea. I got that hay pile there from that bale that busted. What if I just shove it in the pin there? And that might satisfy their idea that the 550 brought them food. And they won't go, I don't know. They'll stay more calm, maybe. Self-unloading bucket, sure. Is this gonna work? needed to be done anyway, so that wasn't wasted effort. Oh, another tree fell down. I didn't even notice this one. That's just a scrub tree, but and I guess it was dead already. It looks like it was just overtaken with vine or whatever. Whoa there. I made a boo-boo too. I think I robbed my fence pliers out of here. That's stupid. Where are you? Whoa! That wasn't too smart. Was it that one? Jeez. No, it wasn't that one. However, I just discovered my shoe leaks. That's nice. There it is. I see it now. This right here was the cause of my trouble. See, Grandpa didn't believe in replacing an insulator when it broke, so he'd just take a wire and tie it to it. Well, for some reason, that insulator's decided where if it's clipped tight to the post, that piece of wire will short to the post, and that was my problem. So I got to do something about that, see? With no tools and a hot, angry Cyclops. See, that wasn't nice because now it's arcing out to the tree. Holy shnight! Oh, I see what. Oh, that adds a wrinkle to this. There we go. Bitch, Cyclops. I lost the feeling in my hand on that one. God, night. The good news is it works. The bad news is I don't think I'm going to be using this finger joint for a while. Jeez. That's crazy. I'm glad it works though. I'm going to walk up and disconnect it so I can clip that back on, because I ain't doing that again. Good grief. I don't even know where I hit it, but I must have pulled the wire where it touched the fence somewhere else and lit me up. But God, night. The Cyclops is working. All right. I got that disconnected. You can actually see lines where it shot electric through. It's a good one. It's working. Let's not have a do-over of that. Treat the Cyclops with respect. There. Aw. How many insulators will Ross drop in there before he finally gives up? I guess we'll go fishing.
Baby chimps begin experimenting at a young age, like this one that's learning how to use a stick.
I figured I would have lost the camera by now.
It takes 10 years for a young chimp to master the art of creating a tool and using that tool.
Well, there's one. Let's go for greedy and see if I can get it. Oh. Now, I just said I'm no. Come on, tap that. Stay put. Can't really use that finger yet. It's still tingling. There. That's what I wanted. Oh. Now, Cyclops, maybe you'll be fine. But yeah, you see what Granddaddy did there was, if I can get it back into orientation, and then drop it immediately. He had the wire tied. He had the wire tied like that to hold it against where that broken leg was. And for some reason, after all this time where it didn't do anything, it started arcing out between the back of that wire and the post. You can see where it's all burnt. So I don't know if the wind blew it enough to bend it or something, but one thing's for sure, we got our money's worth with that Cyclops, because it's still tingling. I guess I'm gonna drive down and check all of this again that we just did probably at the beginning of this video. But when it rains like that, you're pretty well stuck with doing that almost every day when you got fenced through trees. So I guess we'll call this one here. I don't know that it was that interesting, but like I said, I video the stuff I do every day, and this is the kind of stuff that happens, you know? It's not always exciting auction day stuff and, you know, will it runs. There's a lot of maintenance on stuff and boring things and what have you. So every so often you're gonna get a boring one, but that's the way life works. So thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Well, it just goes to show how you're not paying attention, sometimes focused on a task. I was looking at that fence and I didn't even notice there's 2 trees out here that blew over. That one looks uprooted, but this other one looks just destroyed. So we'll drive by and take a quick look at it. You're about out of battery, so you may not make it. Plus, I already ended the video, so this is all extra footage, you know. Man, that one just like totally, I don't know what you call that. It's not really lightning, it just split all apart. They weren't very good at the trunk, maybe. Little cedar trees. Yeah, boy, it totally decimated them. That's interesting. Take a look at this other one. There was another one close by this one that blew over several years ago. And now this one went. Oh well. Nothing lasts forever. Now there's going to be a big hole there though. Yeah. There's a big hole there. That's where the other one was, so I've been trying to fill it in with brush and whatever. So, sure. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.